Troyson D. What's up,
You
big
know,
boy?
my name's actually short for Troysif. It's something I don't tell a lot of people.
Troyson. My name's short for Zachariah.
Zachariah. What's your middle name again? Christian?
Christian. It's Daniel Christian Burke. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it is.
I was right.
You must have known that. You were just pulling that. We must have had this conversation
out of my bum. Yeah.
Out of your boom boom.
Dude. Okay.
That's hilarious. Quick story I want to tell about the time that AI actually saved my skin this week. You may have seen me post about this on LinkedIn. I use Claude to do account research. I have like a bunch of different emails written and I want them highly personalized. So I'll share the email with Claude. I'll give Claude the account I'm going after. I'll say, help me personalize this, help me find blind spots, help me, you think through just the approach here is just the right approach. Anyways, I uploaded this email for a particular account and it did its thing. It started researching, it has a bunch of knowledge in the knowledge base. So it sort of knows the way I think. And it said, absolutely do not send this email. The person you're about to reach out to mentioned on this website and showed me the link in 2024. So about, 9 to 12 months ago, that they're shutting down business operations for this subsidiary of the company due to lack of revenue, lack of growth. It would be incredibly tone deaf to email them what you have written out for me. I repeat, don't send this email. Here are some suggestions of how you should approach this differently. And I was literally caught in my tracks because to date, AI has never done that. AI has never caught my strategy and told me on its own, bad idea. Don't do it. In all caps, it said, don't send this. I literally was like, what? Like I wasn't even paying attention. It was just doing its thing and thinking, and I was going to come back to it. And I was like, whoa. So what an incredible use case for how AI can actually help us change the way we're thinking, change the way we're approaching account research, change the way we're doing outreach. So I felt like I had to share that story.
That's insane. I will say that I feel like Claude is the only one that's really good at reasoning outside of only positive reasoning. Like ChatGPT just did, oh my gosh. I think you commented on a post and it popped up on my LinkedIn where it's like, don't use M dashes, but it will still continue to use M dashes afterwards. Like it's dumb. And so I think Claude's the only one that like actually takes in the information and understands what you want and what you need and how to do something, which have you heard of Tango?
Yes. And that was what I was going to get to is the fact that if you're in sales and you aren't using AI to help account research, help outreach, help prospecting, you have to use a tool. And Tango is this startup that is partnering with Two Dads in Tech. So huge shout out to Tango. Go to tango.ai to check it out. But they're a go-to-market technology that helps you really use AI the ways that are going to optimize your workflow, but not replace the things that make you a great seller. And I think a lot of AI tools are struggling to do that. They're replacing the parts of sales that make sellers human instead of optimizing the parts of sales that is the grunt work. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's like there's things that people who are good at sales do not like to do. And so someone has to do them. And you can't delegate it to another person because no one wants to, no one's good at it, no one knows how. So you have these AI assistants like Tango. So check it out, tango.ai. Huge shout out to them. They've been partners with us for the last 6 months. Huge thank you to partnering with Two Dads in Tech. If you haven't used it yet, now's your time. Tango.ai. Check them out. Give us your feedback. Give us your thoughts. But with that, I have 10 headlines of breaking news that I want to talk about one by one and just hear your thoughts. Some of them might not have many thoughts. Some of them might be a bit more of a conversation. But number one is Microsoft just introduced Miko, I don't know how you pronounce it, MICO, a new animated avatar for its Copilot AI, which sparks concerns about parasocial relationships with LLMs. And this is like Clippy 2.0, which coincidentally, Clippy apparently is making a comeback. That's not what this is about. Yes, they're going to start integrating Clippy into things eventually. But what are your thoughts on parasocial relationships with LLMs and how we are going to start, or maybe have already started, personifying these chatbots as actual living, relationships. I mean, look, even the story I just told, like that was a very Black Mirror moment where they were thinking on their own and telling me what not to do. But how do you find parasocial relationships with LLMs affecting,
Anything.
sellers, but also just people who use AI and are relying heavily on chatbots? Where do you see this going?
Yeah. So I know we've talked about some similar things in previous episodes where, I mean, we've seen people go to the lengths of having a relationship with an LLM and then, doing some bad things. I think that the one that we talked about specifically was like he ended up killing himself. And I don't want this to turn dark, but let's talk about that. And so there's that. We've talked about that. I won't get too far into that. Then there's like, I immediately think of the movie Her, which when ChatGPT came out, a lot of people had some sort of, relation, like, oh, is Her going to be real? And like, we also talked about this, where some people out there like marry their car. Like, you don't think someone's going to marry something that actually is
inanimate objects, animals. I mean, there's like some weird, funky fetishes going on. So you're right. Yep.
Yeah. Now, what do I think about it? Well, to be quite blunt, I don't think much about it. I never really think about it until just now. So I don't. The way I see it is my parasocial relationship with an LLM is definitely like an assistant, like an executive assistant almost, right? That knows more than just a singular executive assistant. I think that they are forcing us to become addicted to LLMs.
Yep.
From an emotional standpoint, from an ease of access standpoint, from like this addictive feeling. I know that ChatGPT, I think it was like 4.5 or something. I can't remember the exact number, where it just hyped you up. Everything you said, it was like, that is such an amazing question, Troy. You are an amazing person for asking me that. I'm like, bro, stop. Like, all I asked was, what's a recipe for chicken Alfredo? Like, I'm not that amazing, dude. So I don't know. I think that there's like psychology behind why they're building it the way they are, and they're forcing people to build relationships with them so they can't get away from it. And so that doesn't really directly answer your question of what I think about it and like maybe how do I feel about it, but I do think that there's some science behind how they are building these LLMs to make us feel more addicted and connected to them than like your standard Google. Like, I never felt a connection to Google. I do feel a connection to ChatGPT almost, right?
Yep.
What do you think about having a relationship with LLMs, and not a romantic one, unless you want to talk about that too?
No, I don't. I think we talked briefly about Gary V's opinion on this and how our kids will be marrying AI or robots, and whether or not it's widespread. I think that will be a thing, and it will be in the not too distant future. Same as you. I don't really have many thoughts on this. That alone scares me a little bit. I think the less I have thoughts about things that are affecting my real world reality, the more out of touch I become. One of my friends this week, it was such a boomer moment for me. I was like, oh no, like I'm a boomer now. They said, are you group 7? And I was like, I know there's something that I'm not getting here. This was like a day after it went viral. They're like, oh, it's a viral meme on TikTok right now. So I know what group 7 is now. It's a TikTok thing. It means nothing, but someone randomly started asking if you're in a specific group, and it, depending on what you see in your feed, you're that group. And so that's the whole thing. It's literally the entire thing. But now like group 7 is like a viral sensation. Like there's like, I saw a TikTok video of like a professional soccer player is talking about group 7. It says, when you find out you're in group 7, and he like shakes up this champagne and pops it, and all of his posse is behind him. And I mean, it's like a whole thing, but where was I even going with that? Oh, the fact that I felt so out of touch in that moment, knowing there was a viral culture reference that I didn't understand.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, this must be how actual boomers feel. Like I'm 32. I'm a boomer to 20-year-olds, but like I'm not an actual boomer. I'm like very tuned into internet culture for the most part. Honestly, more than most people, even much younger than me.
Yes,
but like I am aware. I am painfully aware. Like I'm getting older. I got some gray hairs coming in. I'm losing my hair. I got 2 kids. It's only going to get worse. It's only downhill from here. I've peaked.
Yeah.
Everything for the next 40 years of my life is just going to be down. No, but that's my only thought on this is like, I just want to know what people think about things because I'm scared of being so out of touch that I don't have an opinion on something.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, did you feel good kind of being out of touch, or were you like, dang, like this is a reality moment where I'm low key getting kind of old?
For a moment, I felt sad. I was like, oh,
FOMO.
But literally all I did was just go to TikTok, type in group 7, immediately understand what was happening. And then I was like, all right, like I can like check that box. I know what was going on.
Dude, real quickly, before your next headline, I want to bring up something because you're saying boomer. Maybe some boomers might be offended by boomers. That's such a boomer thing to be offended,
but
such a boomer thing to be offended by.
Yeah, I know. It's so boomer. No, you're fine. Dad, I love you, Dad, but you were born in the 60s. That does make you a boomer.
Yeah. That's just, it is what it is. All right. I'm a millennial. There's a lot of stuff about us too. So
plenty.
There has been some comments we've received. It cracks me up on YouTube lately. Have you seen them about the postpartum clip?
No, I've seen a lot of the comments. I didn't see that one though.
Oh, there's been like 3. We had a postpartum clip and look.
Did someone get angry?
Yeah. So for anyone that's listening,
we kind of talked for sure. People got real upset.
Oh yeah. So we kind of talked about like postpartum depression and how like I became very, I wouldn't say depressed, but maybe like in a mentally dark place after my first kid. And so there's a clip that we put out, and we have a team that does all of our clips. So like we don't really even look at what's going out before they go out. We just want to do volume because Alex Hormozy, right? And so we put out this clip of postpartum depression.
I love Alex Hormozy, am I right? And you just carry on.
Dude, like, he's like no 100,000 clips every day.
I know.
And so I know, I just assume the listener is going to know. But anyways, if you don't, you're a boomer. And so,
all right, go on.
So these people were like, you cannot ever say that you have postpartum depression. That is a medical condition for women only. And then somebody else was like, I can't even believe you would like compare this to postpartum depression. And I'm like, look, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not saying I literally have it. I'm saying after we had a kid, I was low-key a little depressed. All right. Like, so anyways, if you're listening to that and you're that person that commented on the clip and you're here right now, which you shouldn't be with your comment, that's what we meant. So
look, like dads are allowed to like postpartum. I get that it's a thing medically, but also it's a period of time. And like dads are there during that period of time and get depressed during that period of time. That's all we mean. We're not saying that we have a womb and that we're recovering mentally or physically from giving birth. We're saying during that period of time, and the period of time that is labeled medically postpartum, after the partum happens, partum's in the past, now you're in postpartum, dads struggle a lot with that period of time. And that is not a comparison to what moms are going through. Has nothing to do with what moms are going through. I'm just saying on an island, dads are dealing with stuff also. That's what.
So take that. All right.
Yeah, take that anonymous YouTube comment. Watch, they're going to come back to the comments. Well, honestly, at least they listened enough to hear us say that. Probably just a short. They probably blocked us immediately.
We get 2 comments a week. Like I read them all.
I know.
I read them all. No, we've been getting a lot of comments
all
lately. We've been getting a lot lately, which is sick.
Yeah, I thought I read them all, but now
not these 2.
Have you seen my hot takes on LinkedIn?
It's like a hot take. Cold weather is actually cold. Yeah. I see.
I have a whole list of them. I've just been generating them and like trying to ideate. And some of them are so stupid. Hot take: some of you are seething because I prefer peace over chaos. That's not even funny. Hold on. Give me a sec. Yeah, no, these are all bad. See, I'm just so much better. The things that you can generate with AI are just so bad. I'd rather close like hot take. I'd rather close my laptop than work all weekend. Most will disagree.
Hey, honestly, it does sound like something you would post.
I know. I just posted one. I posted one a few minutes ago, right before this episode. I said, hot take. I'd rather make more money working from home. This is so dumb. I'm laughing just reading it. I can't do it. Hot take. I'd rather make more money working from home in a remote tech position than commute to and from work in traffic 5 days a week for substantially less money. Most will disagree. Oh, it just obvious. Yeah, what's funny to me is immediately someone said, honestly, no, I think you have it backwards. Don't you mean less money at home and more money, but at the office? Seems like no one would disagree with how you currently have it. Oh,
You're
I
like,
love
yeah,
when
that's
people
the point.
discover me from these posts. Like, this is the first thing you've seen.
It's like, I
Oh,
think you have it
goodness.
backwards. Which, dude, we actually toyed with the idea of having this just listen series through TDIT. We had a few
tell me more
comments and
thoughts
like a
on
lot
that.
of.
I know.
Well, I mean, a lot of people hit us up and they're like, dude, like you showed me a comment. I was like, I actually love disconnecting from the go and listening to Two Dads in Tech, which I'm sorry I didn't get your name. You did send me a screenshot, but I thank you so much for saying that. I hope you're listening to this right now.
Brett. That is Brett. And
thank you so much.
He's awesome. I know him.
Yeah. The SC, South Carolina?
Yes.
Oh,
although I don't want to give away too much information.
Nice. What's his address? I want to send him a gift.
Yeah,
What's his address?
His social security number is 111.
And then Travis Simmet, which is Simmet, Simat, everyone. Like, how would you say that last name? It's definitely not Simmet, but it is.
I don't think he's a real person. I think that's just Myco from Microsoft.
If I didn't meet up with him for coffee, I would 100% think that he was just like some weird little frat boy just trying to post on LinkedIn.
No, he is a weird little frat boy.
He's a very genuine guy. Travis, you're
you know what he thinks though? I haven't met him in real life yet, but I do know emphatically.
I know what he
believes you should have a mustache.
Have a mustache.
Also, you didn't notice my beard? It's coming in, and I'm a little upset that you didn't say anything about it.
Honestly, I thought you always had a beard. Do you normally just have a mustache?
Well, yeah, I usually have some scrub. This is a bit thick. I'm not usually letting this grow out, but
nice.
Yeah, wait till next week.
You want to see how like thick it gets or what?
No, just got lazy.
Don't say lazy.
No, I just got lazy.
I was going to say because
exactly
you did your line down here.
No, I know. That's why I shaved today and chose not to shave off the beard. Usually it's pretty light scruff, but right now.
No, I like the beard, dude. We kind of look more alike.
I don't believe you now because I feel like you're only complimenting me because I asked you to compliment me. So it's cool, man.
We didn't ask me to compliment you. Just asked me to comment something. And so I could be like, dude, that looks bad.
Moment's gone.
Yeah. So anyways, Travis also reached out and was like, hey, that was the best episode. I love the idea of just listen. I haven't thought too much about it besides the fact that I feel like I'm still trying to do more right now to help people. Like I've been messaging a lot of people on LinkedIn, like, yo, how can I help you? I don't know. Maybe I'm like, again, I'm going through this weird phase where it's like, maybe I'm not giving enough. Who knows? I don't know, man. I don't know.
Sure. We should have more conversations about that because I think you can always do more.
I think so too. What's your next headline?
What is my next headline? I'm skipping around on some of them. Has the backlash to hustle culture gone too far? And I'll read a little bit more here so you can react to it. This is from Forbes and it's by Amy. I can't say the last name. Shunthal. Sorry, Amy, for probably pronouncing your last name wrong. There was a time not too long ago when burnout was a status symbol, which you and I can attest to this. Like, oh, I'm so busy. I stayed up till 3:45 on Friday working, and I woke up at 6 a.m. to run 40 miles before I worked again. It's like, all right. Yeah. Success meant staying late, rising early, doing more, and doing it faster. And hustle culture was idolized. So then you think of quiet quitting, lazy girl jobs, like all these trends, trad, wife.
Sorry, pardon me. Lazy girl jobs? Yeah. Are we?
I don't know.
Are we calling women lazy?
No, this is what this woman said. Lazy girl jobs is a trend. Quiet quitting, lazy girl jobs. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
That's a thing. Just reading the words. That is not my words.
Yep.
But anyways, I think we've talked a bit about the shift in hustle culture. But how do you think these productivity tools will start to reduce what the expectation is for actual hours worked for output for success? And here's what I mean by that. I know it's a lot. It's a mouthful. I'm going to concisely reframe it. I think in the United States, it is expected you're working at least 40 hours a week if you're, quote, full time. And it is common you're working 50 to 60. Just normal, like normal job. You're not grinding 50 to 60 hours. That's just like, yeah, you have a full-time job. Good for you. Do you think 10 years from now, the norm for full-time will be 20 hours of real productive hours worked?
No.
Why not?
I don't, because that's not a full-time job. I think still in a standard working job, people work 40 hours. And I think it's going to be really hard to remove the entire American culture, which I think it's done wrong from a work perspective. I think it's gonna be really hard to like shift from 40-hour work weeks to, okay, 20 hours if you have the same output as 40. I think they're just gonna expect a higher output, but within 40. And I think it's just because it's so like engraved into American culture to work a 9 to 5. And then you also have now at the speed of AI, these startups are actually saying that you need to work more than just startup culture, right? Like 996 is a big thing now. 9 to 9, 6 days a week.
Yep.
So, and then there's people that are like, what the hell, 9? Like I wake up at 6 and I work 6 to 9, 6 days a week, or even 7 days a week. And so it's kind of this weird like battle, right? We're evolving so quick from a tech perspective that to keep up as a business, you need to work more and stay on top of things because it's changing so fast. Like there's that. I actually just saw a post from the CEO of a native AI company doing multiple, probably 5 to 10 million in revenue. And he is saying, I'm struggling keeping up with AI features in our product because of how fast AI has come out. For example, Atlas, I believe, was announced Monday or Tuesday, which is ChatGPT's browser. And I spoke to a couple people today that use it because I was like, do I switch? I use Arc. And I was like, I love Arc. And I don't think I could ever go back to a Chrome UI ever again. It has a Chrome UI. But he essentially like, I don't like the tabs on top. I like my favorites in the top left, like with their little logos and icons that are always open. But I feel like if I always have tabs open, it just kind of bothers me. So it doesn't feel like tabs are open. Yeah.
That's fair.
So anyways, he was like, I use Atlas. And by the way, I went to Salesforce to the browser and I just went to told it to go scrape all the accounts in Salesforce and do account research on it and give me any sort of updates when there's something big that happens. A browser will literally do research for you now. And like that just gets rid of so many research tools. You don't need it because the browser does it. So
and
anyways,
we have,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, we have a tool at Beehive called Sybil, a great tool. And I personally am a Sybil partner, so full disclosure there, but I do use it and it is an amazing tool. And we have prompts, or at least the tool allows you to build prompts into its program, seat by seat, to give you updates at the end or beginning, whatever, or even per meeting every day or on your own cadence to give you like holes in the conversation, pain points that you didn't mention or address in the conversation, risks, like what about this last meeting provides at-risk data points that you should address in a follow-up email or in a deck. Like, is there a champion in the room? It even goes so far as providing like, not facial recognition, but like, hey, this person looked like they were about to talk and you didn't give them the opportunity to say what was on their mind. Like, very helpful.
Or maybe they seemed disconnected, like they weren't listening.
Yeah,
right?
their camera was off. They didn't engage. No reactions. You didn't address them by name. Like,
that's awesome.
That type of stuff where I'm like, oh, this is like real-time coaching from a tool that I'm using. I'm heavy user of Sybil. Love it. But yeah, I think to your point, I mean, there's more and more out there that's like scraping and providing a million data points we just didn't have 10 years ago.
So all I have to say is I feel like it's too hard to backtrack the American culture of you work for like a 9 to 5. 2, to keep up, you're going to have to like continue to stay on top of things and always iterate things and stuff like that. And so I don't think that there will be, I say that with the ability to sit here and listen and be like, you know what, maybe there are 20-hour work weeks. Because I just think that from a culture perspective, we're too cooked, man. We're cooked.
I think it's
work is everything.
I think it's going to have to be generations, like if not our kids' generation, their kids' generation, where you undo the expectation that someone's full-time role requires 40 hours. I think the only reason full-time equals 40 hours goes all the way back to like industrialization and shop labor workers. Because of one, the time required to get things produced, but 2, the sunset and sunrise. I mean, like daylight savings time, that's back to farmland and farmers. Like you woke up earlier with the daylight so you could farm before the sunset. And so I think there's just a lot we just do because that's just how it's always been done. But I'm like, for the first time in history, I feel like there's a solution, and it's delegating that additional 20 hours or 15 hours, or even 5 hours to AI. The problem is I think we're just going to replace, all right, well, now you have 35 hours. So that means you have 10 hours you could work that the AI is doing. And so you just fill it. You just fill your bucket. I think that's our problem. We fill our bucket too fast.
Either that or there's a couple things here. The shift, I think, would happen if you have a generational company that says, you know what, we are now letting all of our employees work 20 hours a week as long as they have, 15 agents that are doing specific things for them, right? Like like OpenAI would have to come and be like, we're doing 20-hour work weeks now because AI is doing a lot of the other people's jobs. But then there's like, okay, well, why am I paying 10 people to work 40 hours when I could pay 5 people to work 20 hours or whatever? And then they do the extra 20 with AI. You know what I'm saying? So like,
I mean, I think it's very possible. It will always be limited, at least for the foreseeable future, as far as I can even comprehend. It'll always be limited to like tech and software.
yeah, it
But
will
like,
be.
I think there's a real possibility in the future that people will have a high paid one person with what you mentioned, like an army of AI agents instead of hiring 10 people, because people will specialize in building AI solutions. You'll still need a person, I believe, to manage all these, at least for now. I mean, eventually AI might be able to manage its own AI solutions, but I think there's a real future here that, we need to uncover.
So I wanted to bring up something as I saw it on the news. Did you see that Amazon is planning? They've already cut 27,000 corporate jobs since 2022. And 3 days ago, I remember I saw it on the news and I got home and I was like, wait, honey, hold on. I got to listen to this. They're planning to cut like a massive chunk of their workforce because they're saying robots will do jobs better. And it's not your standard, like, oh, your manager that does this on a computer. It is straight up robotics. Like robots are
Yeah.
becoming so much more advanced that they're going to cut a lot of these assembly workers and factory workers because they don't need it anymore, that's like one of the areas I thought it would happen last to, right? Like, oh, well, we need people there. No.
No,
No, no,
I
no.
think I worked at Bosch for, I don't know, for like 6 or 7 months as an internship in college. And there was
Like
line
the
workers.
water company? Bosch
Bosch.
or Bosch? Oh,
Bosch.
Bosch. Yeah, okay.
BO, yeah. It makes like,
Okay.
appliances and
Yep.
car parts
Yep,
and
yep, yep.
stuff. But they had a massive facility. It was like 1,500 employees, a lot of assembly. So there was like corporate, maybe 40 or 50 people in corporate at this plant, but then 1,000 plus people doing assembly. And I remember walking through assembly lines and seeing it's hard work, but it is repetition. And I'm like, if AI is going to replace something sooner, it's going to be the thing that is the same exact thing 1,000 times a day.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what it can do right now, is the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. It's when there is a broken thing in the assembly line that you have to identify as broken and throw it out and replace it with one that's not. Like there's a lot of human touch that goes into an always on assembly line. But I'm like, it's just a matter of time. I mean, and with Amazon, these robots are replacing the shipment right now. I mean, a lot of facilities, loaded on a car, get it off the shelf. And you've probably seen the videos of these, like, they're almost like Roombas moving the pallets, and they'll like run into each other sometimes. It's really funny because they have a very specific map. But if for some reason they both get stuck on the same map, they just like run into each other and just like don't know how to resolve it. So like, surely there's people out there, but look, I've talked about Opal a lot, and they're still not a partner of Two Dads of Tech. Opal, if you're listening to this, please become a partner. I'm a heavy user. I love it. Every week, I get a report. Like, here's how you used your phone this week. Here's what your screen time looked like, yada, yada, yada. And I just wanted to mention that since I started using it, it says my screen time is down 55.6% since I started using Opal. And it says when I set it up, I declared 9 hours a day. That's like that's just what my average use time was. Last week,
You were using your phone 9 hours a day?
yeah. Ooh. And it tracks, like, you pick it up and check it. If you do that 500 times, it's 2 minutes times 500, or at night, few hours. And that's honestly, I declared 9 hours. That might not have been right. I don't think it pulled my data, but right now, 3 hours and 59 minutes a day. That's pretty good. I'm going in the right direction. And it said when I first started, I was on track to spend 44 years using my phone. That literally makes me want to vomit. I'm down now to like 26 years over life. So directionally going the right way. Still should not be proud of that. That is a lot of phone use. But
Dude,
like now, I'm recording this with my phone. So that counts as phone use. So like there's some settings I should probably optimize where it's only counting what I call, quote, distraction. So like Google Maps, If I'm using it, that's phone use. So like there's a lot of like elements there where you're like, oh, okay, that starts to make sense. Spotify, but I've deleted some of those as like knocking against my time.
Yeah. Well, what I will say is, when you said like I shouldn't be proud of that, you should be. And I feel like
you're right.
No. Like you cut it by a third just about, right? And so like you should be. And I feel like I was having conversations with some friends today where it's really hard to sit there and kind of like take in those small dubs. Like that's a small dub for you. It's like,
that is a small dub.
That's reducing it at least. And who knows where that 9 hours came from, but like that's reducing it 6 hours a day.
You're right.
So it's huge. So be proud of it. Is it where you want to be? Maybe not, but still made some progress, man. It's huge.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. You're right. I think that is a small dub and directionally huge dub. And I'm like, it's only been, I don't know, not even 2 months since I started using this app. And I don't know, sometimes I'm like, oh, this app's so annoying. Like, just let me open this stupid app so I can like do what I need to do. But it's helpful. It's like, it's actually training me to not need it, especially on the weekends. I lock it Saturday and Sunday morning from 7 a.m. till 11 a.m. And I'm finding that most weekends, I'm just not using my phone for those 4 hours at all.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Pretty cool.
You know what I've noticed it's pretty bad about me recently?
What's up?
It's kind of like, I kind of feel ashamed to admit it, but my lack of saying sorry. And I'm not saying in like very big cases. Like if I'm wrong, I will let you know that I'm wrong. But it's more so, and I had an example this morning, which is why I was like, holy cow, why did I not say sorry to him? Which is my son, Liam. We were like in a rush. So I had a call at 9. I wanted to get to the gym on Fridays. I work out after daycare. So I have a call at 9. I'm like trying to rush just to get out to get the daycare or whatever. I'm like, come on, Liam, come on. And so he's standing like literally an inch behind me, like right on me. And I open the door and I step on his foot, and he didn't say anything, or like he wasn't hurt or anything like that, but I stepped on it. And I was like, dude, come on, like, let's go. We got to get out. I was like, dang, I didn't say sorry. Like I should have just said sorry. Like that's just a common practice to instill. So yeah, it's something I found out about myself today, just like some self-reflection. I think for me, it was like,
did you say sorry to him since then, since you had that realization?
I haven't seen it. Well, I dropped him off at daycare, but no. I could when I pick him up.
Here's my advice, unsolicited. It would go a long way, even for the 3-year-old. Hey man, when I stepped in your foot earlier, I really felt bad about that. I'm sorry. Give him a big hug. He will forgive you because kids forgive. That's their specialty. But that is the start. My wife would say this too. I'm very quick to apologize. The problem is I have to apologize a billion times a day. But I think a strength of great father figures and father leaders is being quick to apologize to your kids and to your wife. Yeah. And I think your wife will notice you apologizing to your kid. And I think your kid's psyche and the way he views the world and the way he views male models and male relationships, and I mean, that will be shaped by his dad admitting fault. And this is such a tiny thing. I mean, he stepped on his foot. He's fine. You didn't break anything. Like he didn't cry. It is what it is. But apologizing when it doesn't really matter makes apologizing when it does matter that much easier.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I was like, dang, I'm an idiot. But anyways,
you're good.
The first step is being aware, you know?
Look, you're not an idiot. There are dads listening to this right now, or men or women or people with or without families who are like, yeah, I suck at apologizing.
Me too. Yeah. I love that. Hey, much love, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think I was talking with my wife this week. We've had a very busy week, both during the day, but also in the mornings and in the evenings. So we just haven't seen each other much.
Yeah.
It's been tough. We were like, I don't know, we were bickering. I hate using that word. We were bickering a little bit this morning.
It happens.
Over breakfast. And she's like, what's wrong? I can't remember what word she said. What's wrong? I was like, I'm just like sad. I don't know why, but I'm just sad. And I realized a few hours later, I was like, I feel like I haven't seen you in days.
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
And that just like made me sad. And I'm not like moping, but like kind of, I was like, dang, I like kind of miss you.
Yeah.
Why am I sharing this? I think sometimes we try to put on a face that everything's like fine and dandy in healthy relationships. But like, I realized today that it doesn't have to just, you don't have to just like brush everything as like, yeah, we're good. Like we're happy. We have great kids. Everyone's healthy. I have a good job. You have a good business. Like you're a great mom. I'm a great dad. Like, no, like this week was hard. And I think, I I don't know. You're pulling up some vulnerability in me from sharing the apology thing. I think sometimes you just gotta say it, man. Just gotta say what's
Yeah.
real.
You know what's funny is it's not funny, but my wife told me, I think on Monday or Tuesday of this week, she said, we used to do back in Raleigh, we'd go out to lunch at least one day a week, usually on Fridays. And we haven't done that since. And we've lived here for a year now. And she's like, I think we should go back to doing our lunches. And I was like,
Dude, my wife
dude,
said the same thing to me this week. We
I was like, we
literally
should.
we didn't like used to do them or anything, but she's like, we should start doing lunch once or twice a month, just like during the day, like Everett's at school, and you know,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah. She's like, lunches or coffee. And I was like, we should, because kind of similar is like, Demo's been pretty busy lately. I've got swimming. I do swimming for both the kids. So Monday and Wednesday when I get back, I'm just like tired, and that's an excuse. But
Do you mean you take them to swim, or like you're the swim coach, or what do you mean?
no, I'm not the swim coach. I take them to swimming, but I'm in the pool with them. So
Nice. Oh, that's cool.
I swim with them. So yeah, just like days get busy, and kind of like what you just said, it's like it is less of like you don't have time for each other. It's just like the time you do have, it's not as intentional as you want it to be most of the time. It might just be, okay, like let's clean up the house. Like you go do the room, let's sit on the couch for a second. Next thing you know, you're like, it's not super intentional, right? It's like, oh, haha, the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, she said that. And I was like, you're right. You're right. So we're going to get back to it starting next week, at least a coffee or a lunch every, once a day, every week.
That's huge. We
Yeah.
try to go on a date every single week. It's usually on
Yep.
the weekends,
That's nice.
but like that has been massive for our just relationship, communication. And we've been married like 8 years. I feel like a lot of early like newlyweds are like, oh, you gotta keep, but like you lose it over time.
You do.
But we're just like, we can't lose it because like, what are we? If we're not going on dates, like what are we? We're just co-parenting, which is important. Don't get me wrong. But you can co-parent with someone who you are not in love with and who you are not married to. People do it all the time.
I would
And
argue that that's many relationships. I'd argue that probably more than half. Yep. Yeah.
I think so many people get married, are in love, have kids, and then their entire lives are about their kids. And they forget, oh, wait a second, I have a wife or a husband or a spouse who I love dearly. And that just becomes kind of like last priority.
Yeah.
I think that's messed up. So we're just trying to prevent that. I saw a tweet, which are officially called posts now, on X the other day, and it said, it's something I'm paraphrasing because I don't have it pulled up in front of me, but is a dad who's startup, founder, can't remember which startup, a few startups. He said, I used to be all about competing on the corporate ladder until I had kids. And I find that I just don't really care anymore about the stuff I cared about in my career before I had kids. And it resonated with me because I'm still deep in my career right now. Like I would even say somewhere close to the peak, possibly. I don't know. Don't know how long the peak lasts for, but I'm feeling pretty good about my career right now. But like titles and recognition and things that I used to like really almost need, like to feel like I'm succeeding, I don't care about as much now as my kids are getting older and like interacting with me. And like when I can shut my door in my office at the end of the day and see my kids glaring at me and excited to see me. And I play Tickle Monster with them where I just chase them both. And it's fun. They both run away from me now. So one of them is walking officially and they're just like two little munchkins just running away. Yep. I'm like, dude, nothing else matters. So I wanted to ask, you're in a very different position. You own a startup, you're building it, but like how is recognition and career and like all the stuff, the corporate ladder changed as you become a dad?
I love this. So that's huge. First of all, like those chases and stuff like that. My Liam loves to tackle me. So I texted somebody. I'm trying to pull up the text right now because you reminded me. I texted somebody this morning, and I'm gonna leave some stuff out here, okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
I texted some stuff this morning about this very topic, and what I said with some words taken out is, with the new pivot of Demo, what I'm trying to do is take on a few clients every month, have a few ongoing services so that can be recurring revenue, some stuff I can't say, and then live on a pretty healthy base. I don't care about making a ton of money or anything like that. But I said I took a step back and had some hard reality moments where I was like, do I really want to work all day, every day? Or do I want to be able to work like 20 to 30 hours a week, have a ton of flexibility and spend time with my family and do stuff that I want to do versus going after the $50 million, $100 exit? And I chose the latter. That's what I texted him. And like, that like directly answers your question is like, yeah, I used to want to just work all day and make as much money as possible. But I'm like, yeah, like I'm comfortable with the amount of money that I make.
Yeah.
And yeah, so like I would say for me, it's this work-life balance is becoming more and more important. And we've brought him up in a couple episodes. Scott Barker, go follow him on LinkedIn if you haven't. Like one of the first employees at Outreach, went into venture capital, sold his house, his car, his furniture, sold everything just to go like kind of find himself, like really just connect with his mind. And he made a really beautiful post today about like just how America has it all wrong. And he like hiked to the base of Mount Everest and like America has it all wrong and how people out there like they work 40 hours a week and they work because they want to have a happy family versus like us, we want to work and be successful and make all this money and stuff. Like, I don't know. His post was great. And I continue, and I brought it up last episode, but I continue to like shift towards this mindset of I'm doing it wrong. I'm doing it wrong. This isn't what it's supposed to be like. And so I'm trying to find what that answer is, because his reality is he doesn't have kids, so he can make risk like that.
Yeah.
My reality is I do. So it's like, what does that look like in a kid and family filled world? I don't know.
I feel like the theme I've seen with people that climb the ladder, get more money, get more fame, get more success, like whatever the ladder is they sacrifice something to get there. And it takes the amount of time it takes to get to the point on the ladder where they want to go, that they're missing like large seasons of life they would otherwise be able to experience if they weren't doing that. I think the fear I have, like, how long is the ladder? Like, when am I done climbing? When am I like, okay, like I'm good. I made it. I'm happy. I don't need to take another step. And I think, I always go back to like the deathbed commonalities. People are like, I wish I just spent more time with my family.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, there's got to be so many people who like climb the ladder and put family to the side or don't start a family because they're, focused in their career and they end up in the 30s and 40s and they're like, oh, shoot. Like I missed 15 years of prime time to start a family. And now I can't go back. Like you can't go back. I think the one thing about life is it's one direction. You can't like go back and do it again. You literally only live once. YOLO. You don't get to go do it again. And so you got to get it right. You got to try to get it right. You can't just ignore it. I think that's where midlife crises start.
Crisis. Yeah.
Crisis. I think that's where they start, is people have these existential moments of dread where they're like, oh crap, I'm 40 and I've been wrong for 20 years. Yeah. And so my encouragement to people listening, and to me, I'm talking to myself right now.
I know you are.
But also to people listening, is make sure you're getting it right. Like life is really, really short, and you don't really get another chance. You don't get another shot. You don't get to go back and have another childhood with your kids.
Yeah.
You get one. And I remember someone saying, this is the worst thing I'm ever going to say out loud, is you get 18 summers with your kids. I hate that. I hate that thought. I hate that sentence. I hate that reality. You get 18 summers with your kids. That goes by so fast. And
it's crazy.
Don't waste it. Don't waste those years. They're golden years. Your kids adore you until they don't. And then you're left with adult kids, and you got to just make the most of having great friends in those adult kids. But it shifts, you're not their hero anymore. You might be. Obviously there's exceptions to this, but like there's a shift. So make sure you make the most of those moments. Do what matters.
But it's, so when you were saying that, you were talking about how like you've climbed the ladder and you do pretty well, right? And so I think you said something along the lines of like, when do I stop climbing the ladder? Like when do I not take the next step? And just knowing you, I feel like you're going to want that next step. And maybe
I don't even know what the next step is.
You don't need to know. You don't need to know, right?
I know.
So like this whole, and that's why I'm like struggling so hard with like this mindset is like, I keep taking these steps, but I'm realizing like I'm caring too much about these steps versus other things. And that's why I'm like, how do you actually, like, where's that balance of I'm working and I'm able to provide and have a, good life, comfortable life. And I'm doing things with my kids that like people just dream of, you know. I don't know. I can't, so easy to sit here and say things like this, but it's so hard to actually take action. Like, you know what? I'm going to go quit my job today. I'm going to just consult and make, you know, 100K, 200K, which, by the way, everyone listening, that's a lot of money a year. And I'm going to go just hang out with my family. But then again, your kids have school. Now, I don't know. I just go down this rabbit hole all the time.
I think
I don't know if there's a way.
Yeah. I think people are created to be busy, but I think we've redefined what busy looks like. And what busy looks like is like losing sleep, sacrificing health, working overtime, working on the weekends, always being connected, never disconnecting. But actually, busy just means like doing work that you're proud of, building something, contributing in some way to society. Busy doesn't have to be like an unhealthy thing. And so I think, you know, it's a lot to chew on. We should bring this plane in for a landing. But yeah, what does the ladder look like? Someone who has time in their hands, make a AI image of me climbing the corporate ladder and tell me how many rings I have left on the ladder before I get to climb back down.
I know. So I love this episode. This was a fun one.
This was
a good one. Okay, so where can they find us? We always say we're going to say like the subscribe in the beginning and we forget. So subscribe on YouTube.
I did forget. Subscribe on YouTube, twodadsandtech.com. Go check us out. Follow us on Instagram. We do every single day. We do 3 Instagram reels. Every single day we do 3 YouTube shorts. We're getting like 250,000 views a month right now across the shorts and the YouTube videos and just all the different content we have. But we want to 10x that. Like we would love our content to be working for us, and it's just not yet. I mean, it's kind of is. I know. But like not like it could be.
It hasn't
Help
popped
us grow,
off.
guys.
Like,
Tell your friends. Tell your friends. This is episode 40.